In the dead of night, deep beneath the waters of the South China Sea, an unseen predator moves undetected. It doesn't roar like a jet, nor does it announce its presence like a warship cutting through the waves. Instead, it lurks in the deep, waiting, silent, watchful, lethal. This is the power of a submarine. A ghost of the ocean, a force multiplier, a game changer in warfare. For decades, the Philippines has relied on its surface fleet and external alliances to protect its vast archipelago. But the tides of modern warfare are shifting. As regional tensions rise and maritime disputes escalate, the need for an undersea force has never been more urgent. Now, after years of deliberation, the Philippines is finally diving into the world of submarine warfare, a bold step that could redefine its naval defense strategy. But why now? And how will this impact the nation's ability to defend its waters against encroaching threats? With over 7,600 islands and one of the most complex maritime geographies in the world, the Philippines sits at a critical choke point in the Indo-Pacific. Yet, despite its strategic position, it remains one of the few Southeast Asian nations without a submarine fleet until now. The decision to acquire submarines comes as regional players, including China, Vietnam, and Indonesia, have already strengthened their undersea capabilities. Submarines offer a unique advantage: deterrence through uncertainty. A single submarine lurking beneath the waves forces adversaries to think twice before making a move, as they can strike from anywhere at any time. The Philippines has long planned to modernize its navy, but financial constraints and shifting defense priorities delayed its submarine acquisition. However, with growing security challenges in the South China Sea, the Philippine Navy has made it clear: submarines are no longer an option, they are a necessity. At the heart of the Philippines' push for submarines is the escalating territorial dispute in the South China Sea. China's aggressive expansion, marked by artificial island building, militarization, and harassment of Filipino vessels, has put the Philippines in a precarious position. The presence of Chinese Coast Guard ships and maritime militias in contested waters such as the Scarborough Shoal and Second Thomas Shoal has repeatedly challenged Philippine sovereignty. While the Philippines has strengthened its alliances with the United States, Japan, and Australia, it recognizes the need for self-reliance. Submarines provide an essential layer of defense by complicating China's ability to dominate the region. A single undetected submarine can disrupt enemy operations, track hostile warships, and create uncertainty for any naval aggressor, forcing them to think twice before encroaching on Philippine waters. Deterrence is not just about having weapons. It's about making potential adversaries believe that the cost of aggression is too high. Currently, the Philippines' naval forces lack the ability to pose a credible counter-threat to stronger regional powers. However, the acquisition of submarines changes that equation. Even a small fleet of diesel-electric submarines, if properly deployed, creates uncertainty for any hostile force operating in Philippine waters. Knowing that submarines could be lurking beneath the surface, adversaries must divert significant resources to anti-submarine warfare, ASW operations, weakening their overall strategy. This deterrent effect is why many Southeast Asian nations, including Vietnam, Indonesia, and Malaysia, have already invested in submarine capabilities. The Philippines is now catching up, ensuring that its maritime sovereignty is not left undefended. Submarines are one of the most effective tools in asymmetric warfare, a strategy where a smaller force uses advanced tactics and technology to counter a much larger adversary. While the Philippines cannot match China's naval power ship for ship, it can develop an undersea warfare capability that makes it costly for China to operate freely in contested waters. Modern submarines, especially those equipped with air-independent propulsion, AIP, or advanced battery systems, can remain submerged for extended periods, making them difficult to detect. Armed with torpedoes, anti-ship missiles, and mines, they can cripple larger warships and disrupt enemy supply chains. In a conflict scenario, Philippine submarines could adopt a hit-and-run approach, striking key targets before disappearing into the depths, forcing adversaries to divert attention and resources away from other military objectives. For decades, the Philippine Navy operated with a surface fleet-centric mindset, relying on frigates, corvettes, and patrol vessels to protect its vast maritime territory. Submarines, despite their game-changing capabilities, were never part of the equation. But today, Manila is charting a new course, one that embraces undersea warfare as a core pillar of its national defense. With rising tensions in the South China Sea and an increasingly assertive Beijing testing the limits of Philippine sovereignty, the strategic calculus has changed. The decision to acquire submarines is not just about modernizing the fleet. It's about ensuring deterrence, enhancing maritime security, and securing the nation's place in the Indo-Pacific's evolving power balance. For much of its modern history, the Philippines' naval doctrine prioritized surface vessels. Budget constraints and the absence of an immediate submarine threat meant that the focus remained on surface combatants: frigates for fleet defense, corvettes for coastal protection, and patrol vessels for maritime law enforcement. In a 2024 interview, Vice Admiral Toribio Adachi Jr., Chief of the Philippine Navy, explained why submarines were not initially pursued. Our priority was to enhance surface warfare capabilities first. Without a strong foundation in surface operations, diving into submarine warfare would have been premature. This logic shaped previous procurement decisions, leading to the acquisition of 2 Jose Rizal-class frigates from South Korea and ongoing plans for additional corvettes and offshore patrol vessels under the revised AFP modernization program. The catalyst for this shift? China's increasing militarization of the South China Sea. Over the past decade, Beijing has transformed disputed reefs into fortified outposts, complete with runways, radar systems, and missile batteries. The 2023 escalation at Second Thomas Shoal, where Chinese vessels aggressively blocked Philippine resupply missions, highlighted the urgent need for a stronger deterrent. Recognizing this, President Ferdinand Marcos Jr. signaled a policy shift in 2023, stating, "We must build a credible defense posture that ensures the Philippines is not left vulnerable in an increasingly contested maritime domain."
We must oppose the dangerous use of Coast Guard and maritime militia vessels in the South China Sea. We are concerned over illegal, unreported, and unregulated fishing and the militarization of reclaimed features in the South China Sea. We must not allow tensions in the South China Sea to further escalate.
Unlike surface vessels, submarines introduce strategic uncertainty, a factor critical to deterrence. The mere possibility of an undetected Philippine submarine patrolling disputed waters forces adversaries to rethink their actions, altering the regional security calculus. The submarine acquisition falls under Horizon 3 of the Armed Forces of the Philippines, AFP Modernization Program 2023 to 2028, a phase dedicated to high-end capabilities. This stage marks a departure from previous procurement cycles, with a significant budget increase aimed at securing multi-domain warfare assets. The Marcos administration has ramped up defense spending, allocating a record-high budget to fund major acquisitions. Undersea warfare. Capability. Submarine procurement is the centerpiece of naval modernization, with options including the French Scorpène-Class, South Korean Jang Bogo III, and Swedish A-26 Blekinge-class submarines. Integrated defense strategy. The Philippines is aligning its submarine program with broader security partnerships, particularly with Japan, Australia, and the United States, to enhance interoperability. With neighboring Vietnam, Indonesia, and Malaysia already operating submarines, the Philippines is making a strategic move to ensure it does not fall behind in the regional arms race. For the first time in its history, the Philippines is on the verge of acquiring submarines, a bold yet necessary step in securing its vast maritime domain. With rising tensions in the South China Sea and the growing need for deterrence, Manila is now evaluating multiple contenders. But choosing the right submarine is not just about firepower. It's about financing, maintenance, technology transfer, and long-term strategic partnerships. France, South Korea, and Spain have all entered the race, each offering state-of-the-art diesel-electric submarines with unique advantages. From the battle-tested Scorpène-Class to South Korea's advanced Jang Bogo 3 and Spain's ambitious S-80+, the competition is fierce. As the Philippines inches closer to making a decision, the question remains: which submarine best aligns with its defense and economic interests? France's naval group is aggressively pushing its Scorpène-Class submarine, a platform already in service with Malaysia, India, and Brazil. Designed for stealth and endurance, the Scorpène offers a diesel-electric propulsion system with an optional air-independent propulsion AIP module, allowing it to stay submerged for longer periods, critical for operations in contested waters like the South China Sea. But France's real ace lies beyond the submarine itself. President Emmanuel Macron has personally endorsed the deal, offering a comprehensive support package, including the construction of a submarine base in Subic Bay, training for Philippine crews, and a generous financing arrangement to ease procurement costs. By choosing the Scorpène, the Philippines wouldn't just be buying a submarine, it would be entering a long-term strategic partnership with one of Europe's top naval powers. The challenge? Cost. While highly capable, the Scorpène-Class is among the more expensive options on the table, requiring significant investment in maintenance and infrastructure. South Korea's Hanwha Ocean, formerly DSME, has positioned itself as a strong competitor, offering its latest Jang Bogo 3-class submarines based on the proven German Type 214 design. Boasting modern sonar systems, advanced lithium-ion batteries, and a stealth-focused hull, the Jang Bogo 3 is a formidable choice for the Philippines. Seoul's biggest advantage is its flexible financing and proven track record with Manila. South Korea has been a key defense supplier, providing the Jose Rizal-class frigates and securing contracts for future Corvettes. A submarine deal would further solidify this growing military alliance. South Korea is offering a technology transfer package, opening the door for local assembly or future domestic production, something the Philippines could leverage for its long-term defense industry ambitions. However, the Jang Bogo 3 is still in its early stages, with only a few units in active service, making its long-term operational history less proven compared to the Scorpène. Spain's Navantia has also entered the fray, offering its S-80+ submarine, one of the most advanced non-nuclear subs on the market. Equipped with air-independent propulsion and a high-end combat management system, the S-80 boasts a larger displacement and longer operational endurance than many of its competitors. Madrid's proposal comes with a strong emphasis on technology transfer, with potential for future local production. A tempting offer for a country looking to develop its own defense industry. The S-80 program has been plagued by delays and technical challenges, raising concerns about delivery schedules and operational reliability. Submarines are a formidable weapon, but the Philippines must also strengthen its anti-submarine warfare ASW capabilities. China, Vietnam, and Indonesia all operate submarines, meaning Manila must develop the ability to detect and counter enemy subs. Vice Admiral Adasi has already emphasized the need to acquire maritime patrol aircraft, sonar-equipped warships, and ASW helicopters to complement the submarine fleet. Without a strong ASW capability, the Philippines could find itself vulnerable to enemy submarine intrusions in its own waters. The purchase of submarines by the Philippines represents a dramatic change in the security environment of the South China Sea, strengthening Manila's ability to thwart Chinese maritime development and bringing it into line with regional actors like Vietnam, Indonesia, and Malaysia, all of whom have submarines. This tactic quietly tips the scales, requiring Beijing to refocus its naval strategy and invest more in anti-submarine warfare. In keeping with its larger Indo-Pacific strategy to limit China's influence, the United States, a crucial ally, is probably going to support this development through intelligence sharing, cooperative drills, and logistical support. In response, China might step up its military posture, diplomatic pressure, and gray zone operations, which might exacerbate regional tensions. If the Philippines successfully acquires and integrates submarines into its fleet, it will reshape the power balance in the South China Sea. A credible submarine force would complicate China's naval operations, enhance Manila's deterrence, and bring the country in line with other ASEAN submarine operating nations. However, the success of this program hinges on strategic decision-making, financial sustainability, and long-term commitment to training and maintenance. The next few years will determine whether this bold step turns into a transformative success or an expensive misstep. In modern naval warfare, the most dangerous threats are often the ones you cannot see. As the Philippines embarks on its submarine journey, it must recognize that beyond acquiring steel and torpedoes, it is entering a new era of strategic depth, one that could redefine its role in the Indo-Pacific for decades to come. Thank you for tuning into our channel. If you enjoyed the video, please remember to like, share it with your friends, and subscribe to our channel for more in-depth analysis of global issues.